Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to today's Daf Hayomi, which is Nedarim Daf Chavtes. We are holding on Chav Chesamad Beis at the beginning of the piece, 4 lines from the bottom of the Amud. Hareilan Tiyes Elu Korban V'chulu. A fellow gets up and announces as follows: these young trees, these netiyos, will be considered korban. It can mean either it's hegdesh, belongs to the Beis Hamikdash. According to Pshat 2 in the Ran, it's usher like a korban. It's usher with neder, like a korban is usher. So either way, these saplings are off limits. And he adds the words ad sheyikatetzu, until they are cut down. What does the Mishnah say? It takes effect. Ein lahem pidyon. You cannot redeem these items. Asks the Gemara, Uloilam, forever? Every hegdesh has pidyon, or every thing that's usher like a korban, according to Shittas Rab Meir, has pidyon. Why is it different than any other thing which is kaddish? What do you mean, ein lahem pidyon? Answers the Gemara, Amar bar pada. It simply means like this. You can't just expect that a single redemption, a single pidyon, will undo the kedusha, will remove the kedusha, because he said it's kaddish until it's cut down. It's a constant state of kedusha, and therefore padan, even if he redeemed it, it re-attains kedusha. Padan, he redeems it again. Guess what? Kedusha jumps right back onto it, because he set a time frame until Ketzitza, regardless of what I do until then. So you indicated, even if I did Pidyon, it's ineffective. The Kedusha comes right back. So this happens until when Achi Katzitzu. But, says Bar Pada, once you cut them down, it's over. It expires on its own. Sorry, according to Bar Pada, it expires provided he makes another Pidyon. Niktzitzu. He chops them down. They still have Kedusha, and therefore Poidan, you must redeem them. Pamachas, once is enough. V'dayu, and that's sufficient. So 2 Kedusha. Firstly, as long as they are standing, they will have perpetual Kedusha. Once they're cut down, now they're candidates, so to speak, for Pidyon, in which Pidyon is effective. But you do need Pidyon. Kedusha can't just dissipate on its own. V'ula Amar, he disagrees. The commitment was until cut down. Once they're down, there's no need to make pidyon, because it was a limited time hegdish. It's a chiddush. This fellow sets up this limited time hegdish until ketzitza. Once ketzitza happens, it's done. It expires on its own. That's a chiddush. Amalei Rav Hamnuna, he asks Akasha to Ula, how can you just allow the kedusha to dissipate? Kedusha shebehen lahechan holcha. Where did the kedusha go? It was kaddish 1 second, and then the next second, no more. So the Ram points out, well, if it's hegdish that we are speaking, actual hegdish, according to that pshat, we understand Rav Hamnuna's question. It was kaddish. It can't just disappear without a masa, without doing some action that reverses that kedusha, such as pidyon. But asks the Ran, if we're speaking about koinam, it was just a isser neder, then yeah, of course you can make something usher just today and not tomorrow. What's wrong with that? The Ran answers, here it's different. In contrast to a typical koinam, which is personal, it's usher to me. Okay, usher today and not tomorrow. Here we're speaking about something which is going to be usher to everybody. That's a stronger, more powerful, more encompassing Isser like Hegdish is, and therefore, says the Ran, the Kasha stands. We compare it to Hegdish, and presumably, just like Hegdish can't just disappear without Pidyon, likewise, our Isser. Kedusha shebehen leichen holcha. And Rav Nuna continues. Let me substantiate my question. Uma ilu amar li isha. Suppose a man turns to his wife. Hayamat ishti, ulamachar yat ishti. Look, he gives her some money, a ring. This is your Kiddushin. Today you're my wife, and tomorrow you're no longer my wife. He wants the Kiddushin. Kiddushin is like Kedusha. Separation, elevation, designation. He wants it to be a one-day experience, a one-day marriage. Does that work? Minafka b'la get. Can't you just leave him tomorrow without a get? Of course not. So apparently, even when you set forth an expiration date for your Kedusha, it can't just disappear on its own. You need a masa get. And likewise by us, a masa pidyon. That's a kasha on you, Ula, who maintains you don't need anything to remove Kedusha from these nitiyos. Amalei Rava. So Rava responds to this question from the get. You can't compare the two things. Mikam edamis Kedusha damim. How do you compare the Kedusha or the Isser pertaining to these items, these natiyos? They're not actually Kaddish. They have a Kedusha, a monetary Kedusha attached to them, but they're not actually inherently Kaddish. You're comparing that L'Kedushas Aguf to an Isha who is inherently Mekudesh to her husband. That's actual, it's inherent. It's internal. Big difference. Kedushas Damim Palka B'chdi. You can very well understand that something which only contains a Kedushas Damim, that can just happen it can just disappear on its own. Once the expired date arrives, it's over. Because that Kedusha sort of rides on it. It's not inherent. Kedusha Saguf like Palka B'chdi as opposed to the Kedusha Haguf of the Isha. That's a stronger, more powerful, more eternal Kedusha. It can't just disappear without something to undo that, such as a get. Amalei Abaye. So Abaye turns to Rava. You're making that distinction. Kedushas Damim can work, but not Kedushas Aguf. I'll bring you a raya that even Kedushas Aguf can just expire on its own based on the person's, conditioning, person's stipulation. But Tanya, a Kedushas Aguf, it can't just disappear. Even a Kedushas Aguf can't disappear. Yes. Vatani, we have a brisa. Shor ze'oila. A fellow gets up and says, this shor, this ox, is going to be designated as a korban oila. This is a very high form of kedusha. It's a kedusha kachim. It has meila all the way till the end. This happens kol lamed for the next 30 days. It is an oila. Ula achar lamed yom shlamim. But I want that after 30 days are up, it turns into a shlamim. It reverts into a kachim kalam, a different type of korban. What happens? That's exactly what happens, as per instructions. Kol lamed yom oila, la'achar lamed yom shlamim. It suddenly switches tracks. It turns from an oila into a shlamim. Now, it's not just a downgrade; it's a totally different kedusha. So once 30 days hits, the oila disappears and the shlamim arrives. That's the brisa. Asks the Gemara, Amai, how does this work? Kedushas Aguf Ninu, Upaka B'chdi, says Abaye, I'll bring you a rye from here. Kedushas Oila is inherent. It's Kedushas Aguf, Kedushas Mizbeach, Kedushas Korban, and it's just disappearing on its own. Answers the Gemara, who says, we're speaking about Kedushas Aguf. Hachab Ma'eskinan, perhaps we're speaking the Amr Lidmei. He applied a monetary Kedusha on this animal. He specifies that this animal will be used to purchase a korban. I'm going to sell it and buy with it a korban. Not the actual, I'm not going to be makriv the actual korban. That's a monetary kedusha, which can dissipate when the time's up, even without a pidyon. If that were the case in the brisa, that it's kedushas hadomim, but not kedushas haguf, amos sefer. Why do we need this second case in the brisa, where it's switched around? A fellow gets up and says, this ox, well, la'achar lamed yom oila. After 30 days, I want it to become an oila, shlamim. But right now, going forward, it should be a shlamim, and then it reverts to oila after 30 days. What does the brisa say? It works, as per his instructions. Now it's a shlamim, and then it turns into an oila. So in the first case, it was an oila first, and then a shlamim. Now it's a shlamim, and then an oila. Why the repetition? Why does the brisa need to bring both cases? If they're both kedushas damim, once you have one, you know the other. Now, if we shall learn that one situation is describing a Kedushas Haguf, let's say the Reisha, and the second one is describing Kedushas Hadamim. So you understand why the Brisa needed both cases, so that you understand that one of the two cases is Kedushas Haguf. That explains why we need two cases in the Brisa. Perhaps I would say Kedushas Haguf loy pake b'chti, that the Brisa is only speaking about Kedushas Damim, because Kedushas Haguf wouldn't just dissipate on its own. Kedushas Damim pake b'chti, as opposed to Damim, which could. So if we only discuss one scenario, we would attribute it to Kedushas Damim. That's exactly why the Brisa needs to cite both cases, both scenarios. And the only way to explain the apparent repetition is to say, well, one case is Kedushas Damim, but the other one is Kedushas Haguf. Eli Amras, either Kedushas Damim, but if they're both Damim, why would the Brisa have to mention both cases? It's redundant. So the Resha speaks about an Oila reverting to Shlomim. Seifa speaks about a Shlomim reverting to Oila. Hashte Yishlema. Mikdusha Chamura. Lukdusha Kala Paka. Once you tell me that in case number one, where it started as an Oila and reverted to a Shlomim, that works, even though Oila stands higher than Shlomim in terms of its level of Kedusha. So Kedusha Chamura can sort of revert to Kedusha Kala. Why then discuss the next case, where it's a Shlomim upgrading to an Oila? Well, obviously, of course. Mikdusha Kala, going from a lighter Kedusha like a Shlomim, the Kedusha Chamura, up to a bigger Kedusha like an Oila Tzrichel. Is there any need to even discuss this? So that proves my point. The fact that the Brisa mentions both cases, it's precisely for this purpose to teach us that although one is Kedushas Damim and the other one is Kedushas Haguf, you can still manipulate the Kedusha and have it expire when that time comes. Well, says the Gemara, now we have a kasha, another kasha, because once we have clearly established that the Brisa is discussing even Kedushas Haguf, and that could also just expire without a Maaseh. Now we're going to have a strong kasha on Rapada, who told us before that the Amar Leipaka Kedusha B'chti, that Kedusha can't just expire on its own. Now, why did the Gemara wait until this moment to ask on Rapada? Some Farshim explain. The Ran explain like this. You see, we could have just learned that the Brisa was speaking about Kedushas Damim, and was speaking that he actually was paida the animal after 30 days. So let's say in case number one, he says the next 30 days this thing will be an Oila. Perhaps we're speaking about Kedushas Damim of Oila, and after 30 days it should turn into a Shlamim. So we're speaking that he actually redeemed it after 30 days. And the Chiddush of the Brisa would be, well, you can make a sort of a delayed Kedusha. That after 30, after Pidyon, after 30, the animal turns into a Shlamim as per his instructions today. And that's a Chiddush. You can sort of make a delayed reaction, Kar HaKrav Hegdish. That would have been the Pshat in the Brisa. Again, we're speaking about Kedushas Damim. And he was Paida. He actually did a Pidyon after 30 days, and that allows it to lose its Shem Oila, and then the Shlamim descends on the animal. But now that we've established that no, the Brisa is also addressing Kedushas Haguf, which can't have Pidyon. That's the halacha. You can't be Paida Kedushas Haguf under ordinary circumstances. So if we're speaking about a non-Pidyon situation, how does it work? Bar Pada told us, you can't just have Hegdish expire without Pidyon. Amar Papa, so Papa relearns the Brisa. In fact, Kedusha can't just expire. Amalach Bar Pada Hachikama, the Brisa means like this. That in the second part of the Brisa, which apparently is speaking about Kedushas Aguf. This is exactly what happened. Im loy amar me'achshav shlamim la'achar lamed yom oila havi. We thought that in case number 2 of the Brisa, we're speaking that he said, today it's a shlamim, and after 30 days it's an oila. That's what happens. It starts as shlamim and switches to oila. No, says Rav Papa, that's not what we're speaking about. The Brisa means that if he did not declare it as a shlamim now, rather, all he said was that after 30 days it should turn into an oila, it's going to work. It's going to turn to an oila later on. And the chiddush of the Brisa is, you can do that. You can decide today that this animal will be a shlamim tomorrow after 30 days. So when the Brisa actually said that he said shlamim today and oila after 30 days, the Brisa meant to say that in this type of case, since he wants it to be a shlamim today, the fact that it turns into a shlamim today prevents it from turning into an oila by itself after 30 days, because that doesn't work. It's only in a case where he did not say ma'achshav shlamim, that's when you can have an oila after 30 days. That's all included in the second case of the Brisa. Again, if he says shlamim now, you can't have oila later. When the Brisa says la'achad amad yom, oila actually turns into an oila, that's provided he did not declare it as shlamim today. So basically, according to Rav Pada, the first part of the Brisa is speaking about a case of kedushas damim, and in fact he made a pidyon after 30 days, and that allows it to turn to the next carbon. Case B of the Brisa is speaking about kedushas aguf. Well, you can't just make pidyon, right? And the Brisa means to say that you can declare it Kaddish, Kedushas Aguf after 30 days, provided he didn't make it Kaddish now, to something else. He didn't label it a different carbon. And that's a Chiddush too. So again, Imloy Omar Ma'achshav Shloishim, since he did not label it as a shlamim today, then we say La'achar Lamed Yom Oila, it works. What works? That after 30 days, it should be an oila as per his request. Oila havi. And what's the chiddush? It is a chiddush. Who's to say you can do that? I can stand up today and make it a carbon in 30 days. It's like a fellow turns to an isha and says, here's a coin, here's the ring. Be my wife after 30 days. It works after 30 days. Even if the money is gone by the time 30 days arrive. Because after all, she took from him, she has it from him, she's bound to him on account of that money. So here as well we say that today's declaration activates the Shem Oila after 30 days. Says the Gemara Pshita. Well, of course. Why would I think that Hegdish is different? Well, what's the point of the Brisa? Why would it be different than Kedushin? Says the Gemara, the Chiddush is, even if he changes his mind in the middle, he gets up today and says, in 30 days it's an oila, but midway he decided to change his mind. It doesn't work. His commitment stands. Well, that works if you hold by Kedushin, by the Isha, she can't change her mind. What about the other shita? It's a machlokes and Kedushin between Rav Nachman, Rav Yechon, and Rish Lakish. So if you hold that you can change your mind there, you can do that here as well by the Hegdish. Says the Gemara, no. The Chiddush of the Brisa is you can't change your mind. It's a commitment to Hashem. It's a nether. You committed. You can't turn around and cancel it. Even if you hold that in that case, she has a right to cancel the deal before it gets activated. Here by the carbon it's different. Why? When you commit verbally to Hashem, it's as though you gave something over physically and completed a transaction which doesn't allow you to revert and to cancel. So that's the chiddush of the Brisa. If you get up and say, well, this thing is carbon after 30 days, and you change your mind midway, it doesn't matter. It's committed. It's like a nether. It's over. Okay, so the bottom line is, we learned a chiddush today that according to Ula, once the deadline arrives, the kedusha can just dissipate, and that's in contrast to Bar Pada, who says no. Even after those saplings have been disconnected and felled, you still have to do a pidyon to eradicate the kedusha. Rabbi asked the kasha, how can you just... Rabbi Menuna asked the kasha, how can you just get rid of kedusha without making a masa? What about the isha? She needs a get. And Rava responds, well, a get is an isha, kedushas damim, kedushas aguf, it's totally different. Here it's kedushas damim. And Abai responded, well, from this brisa we see that even if it's a kedushas haguf, at times it can just dissipate. And certainly in the case of kedushas adamim, like in our case of the netiyos, but Pada disagrees. You need to have a masa to undo it. And we explained that he learned the brisa differently. He learned it in a way which is consistent with his shita, that either you actually make pidyon, or speaking that initially it wasn't a question of going from one kedusha to the other and having one kedusha expire. Rather, today he requested that the kedusha arrive within 30 days. Right? It should turn into an oila. And the chiddush is you can do that. Even though he changed his mind, the commitment stands. Be well and hatzlacha, Rabbi.